from town to town with a horse trailer dragging behind. Just a cowboy lost in a modern world. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Not a day goes by, I don't think about how my life used to be. Now I'm out of my prime and I'm losing time, and nobody's calling for me. They used to call my name come roundup time. Now the four-wheelers takes my place, and the cowboy life that I've always loved is getting lost without a trace. But I won't give up and I won't give in. I'm a cowboy till I die. And I know there's got to be a place for me underneath big western sky. Headed out west, gonna do my best to leave the civilized world behind. Just me, my saddle, and an honest horse will try to go back in time, where surely there'd be a warm campfire or a bunkhouse calling my name. But tonight I'll sleep in my pickup truck, 'cause I'm still not playing their game. The world may turn, but the thing they can't change is the way I feel inside. A prairie fire may burn itself out, but you can't snuff a cowboy's pride. I'll be what I am and I'll do what I do. This life is worth fighting for. Yeah, the cowboy life is alive for me and 10,000 more. The cowboy life is alive for me.
Welcome to the horsemanship. I'm doing a voiceover here because I lost my audio on the next two videos. This is a young spotted horse, and she's gaited, and I don't work gaited horses no different than I do a quarter horse or an air, just regular saddle horse, stock horse. This will be my first real ride with her. I've been on her back twice, but all I did concentrate on then was getting her the feel of the bit and control her feet a little bit. So basically on this video, we're just going to get her out in the arena and ride her. Same thing you see me do with other horses at the first ride or so. But my main thing is, people think, well, it's a gaited horse, so it's got to be trained different. And like I said in the introduction, no, you don't train them no different. It's the same thing. And actually, if they learn to get softer the bit, the better the gait. Right here, all I'm doing is getting my rein connected to her feet. So in other words, I used to do a lot of flexing, not moving, but I quit doing that. Right here I'm picking up my rein, and I want them hind feet to move. Picking up my rein, I want them hind feet to move. So that's going to be important in the saddle. And one of the problems I had with this little filly is she's a little sticky footed. Sometimes I don't know what's worse, horse more forward moving or horse with sticky feet. Seems like the more forward horse that moves is less trouble to get them going than a sticky foot horse. And a lot of times some of these sticky foot horses, when they do decide to start moving, it might not be pretty. It's like everything I do. Everything's one step at a time, and one thing leads to another. I try not to skip any steps. And, and before I ever got on her, the horse knew what a stop was and what a back was. And I didn't ground drive her. I think I show it here in the video sometime. Like I said, right now I'm just trying to get her feet unstuck a little bit. I don't care if she runs around or moves out. I just want her feet to move. And plus a little bit of groundwork just sort of helps, tells me where her head's at if she's focused on me. Like I said, she's a young horse. So, and working with these young horses, you got really a small amount of time before you start losing them. They get distracted and everything else. Like I say, you see me lunging her a little bit, but I'm not lunging her to wear her down. The only thing I'm lunging her for is get her feet unstuck. I mean, it's a lot easier for me to do it from the ground. Now right there, that throwing her head is resistance. Before, when I first start working, I try to move her feet, she'd kick out. But I got her to the point now, she just tosses that head a little bit. And we just working her back and forth. And when I do groundwork like this, I'll send them around maybe 2 or 3 times, then I reverse them. I don't want them to go brain dead and just do something automatically. I want them reverse whenever I tell them to reverse. I want them focused right on me. Because the more I get them focused on me, the better off me and the horse is going to be. Now here's moving out pretty good. Feet's getting unstuck. You're wondering what I'm doing. I just want her to stand there. I want her to back up right there. I don't want her to move around. Whips and spurs, they're nice tools if you use them correctly. They're not for punishment. All they are is extension. The whip is extension of my hands, and the spurs just help me communicate a little bit better without me thumping on it. Like with this one, I haven't wore spurs with her yet, and she's a little bit dead to the leg, and I thumped her so much she started getting a little irritated. And she got a little bit tender. Now if I had spurs with her, she wouldn't have gotten that way. But this horse is eventually going to be in harness, and so I don't want her super sensitive to my legs anyway. The owner wants this horse to be able to ride it and put it in harness. So here I'm just getting ready to climb on her. And I'm going to go through my checklist. Right there, I just asked for back. I'm going to do it again. And ask for back. I want her softly back up. And you can see how she starts to get on the vertical and backs up real softly without me pulling on her. Then I'm going to go back and move that hip when I pick up my rein. When I pick up that rein, I want that hip to move. Now my hand position when I pick up the reins, if I sort of pull to the hip moves. If I pull up a little bit closer to the body, shoulder, right here, I'm showing how I got her backing up. I'm just putting pressure on that rein and let her feel it, and then when she responds, I'll release. But I don't go right to pulling real hard. I just put steady pressure on her. I was working with Jim, the owner, with her, a horse, and doing it, and he didn't realize how heavy he was getting with his hands. And I'll keep doing this till the point where all I have to do is touch the reins and she backs up. It's a real easy way to get a horse used to the bit and to respond. Like right there, you just see me picking up my reins and she's backing off of them. Like I said, and I've just been on this horse's back twice and not really moved her feet, just concentrated on that. But I got that soft feel from the ground before I get on her. That way, if something happens, if I have to control her head, I can. Right now I'm just touching her sides and tapping her with my stirrup to get that hip to move a little bit. Then I'll go to the other side and do the same thing. Take my stirrup and tap her. And I start out with a light tap, and then I'll increase the pressure until she moves. And as soon as if she just shows me signs of moving that first time, I'll stop. That's the trick with a lot of this stuff, is that very first time you're teaching them something, to recognize that try. Sometimes that try is really small, but if you can be able to recognize it, it goes a long way, and you'd be surprised how much quicker it is to teach them something. It's all that first time. Like I said, some people aren't big into it. They prefer to work more on lateral control when they get on the first time. Me, I work on that too, but I'm really picky about, I want them coming off that bit. And like everything, you see me do it time and time again. I'll start small and open it up as we go. Now if you notice, all I had to do is pick up my reins, and so filly backed off that bridle. I put that wall up and she backs off of it. And like I said earlier, that way if I get in trouble, I got tools there, and she won't overreact if I have to get my hands in there. And if you notice, I'm using my rein instead of sitting there and slamming my leg into her. I'll use my leg first, then I go to my rein. My key thing is just get the horse's feet moving, no matter if it's backwards, forwards. And since she's going in a harness, I'm really going to work on her stopping her back. Because that'll keep her soft and not get in trouble. So that's why you see me doing a lot of stopping and backing. Because when she's got driving lines and she gets a little upset, I want to be able to stop her with the driving lines and her not bolt off when I get her in harness. So I'm doing this, I back her up, and I work on moving that hip a little bit, and back her up some more, and move that hip. Like I said, I just want to be able to control this horse's body. And like I said earlier, it doesn't matter if you're training a gaited horse or a stock horse. The foundation is the foundation, no matter what. Problem with gaited horses, people get so caught up in getting the horse's gait that they leave out all the foundation. Right there, she was refusing me, so I had to go back to my rein again. And at one corner, she's a little spooky at. So we'll just work our way down, like I said earlier, just, move her around and just open our circles and my area up. Like I said, this is my first real ride with her. So I'm not going to worry about getting fancy and, a lot of cantering or gaiting or whatever. You hear me say this over and over again. It's all about controlling the feet and her being soft and relaxed. Right now I'm just letting her have her head a little bit, and I'll ride with a little bit of loose rein, but I just got contact with that bit enough that if something happens and if I have to control her, I don't have a whole lot of rein hanging. I can go right to the bit and control her. I mean, this is just fundamental stuff you've seen me do over and over again. So a lot of videos may look like the same, but usually something new comes up and I think of something new while I'm filming. In this case, a little harder since I'm doing voiceover. And right then, you notice me while she was moving. I didn't wait before I put her in the back, I didn't wait for a complete stop. I asked for a stop and I went right into a back. Because my train of thought is the stop isn't a stop. A stop is a back up. Like I said, she's a little worried about that corner. So here shortly I'll start working a little bit back and forth and try to work my way closer and closer to it. And notice 90% of the time when I'm turn her, I'm going to turn her to face that, like right there. You see how she's a little worried about it. But most of the time I'm going to turn her that direction. I'm not going to turn her away from it. I'm going to turn her into it. And you notice as time goes on, I let her move out a little bit farther and farther. There she's looking. I just going at it. Now I'll turn her back towards that scary area again. I didn't quite do it to this video, but normally I keep doing that until the horse can walk right by that area. But you notice I keep getting closer and closer. Now, I'm going to stand here for a little bit and take the pressure off of her. I mean, that's one little thing that, you know, people think when you're training a horse, you got to constantly be doing something. Now, a lot of times I just sit there and do much anything, just let the horse chill out and relax. So I apologize for this voiceover, but it is what it is. I want to get these two videos up. Now, key thing, as time goes on, I am getting closer, but if you notice, when I turn her to her scary corner, she's not as fixated on it. You know, she still don't want to get over there, but she's not what I call staring it down while she's going around the turn. And you know, this first real ride, I don't, be honest with you, I'm not really, I don't care where we're going. As long as I can, like I said earlier, control her feet and go somewhere. I don't care about doing pretty circles. I don't really care about going straight. Like right there, I picked up my rein and she followed the feel of it. I pick up my right rein, she follows the feel of it. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm. There I do it again, and she's following it. So I took pressure, and now we're going to go to a scary spot again. And I'm going to work a little bit on the left. Now I'm just going to do little serpentines with her, working her back and forth. If you notice, when she is concentrating on that little scary corner, I'm not concentrating on it. The only thing I'm concentrating on is controlling her feet. Because if I got in there and start worrying about what she's worrying about, usually it doesn't go well. And the average horse, if they're not messed up from being spoiled or been handled wrong or whatever, that's the way the first real ride should go. Should be no biggie, should be smooth. And as I always say, it should be boring. As you can see, you know, I'm talking about her being sticky foot. Right there, she's showing signs of it. Of course, going back towards the gate of the arena, she's not, because, you know, she knows where that gate's at. And if you notice, it's taking less and less pressure for me to get her to move. Now what I'll do here in a minute, instead of having her getting fixated about it, I just turn her around and back her up into that corner. Of course, side note, whereas when we were done filming, there was a deer that came out from that brush back there. But, you know, training horses, you know, it takes a lot of patience. Goes with my 3 P's. I'm not going to get upset with her. I mean, she's a young horse. So my job is, as I say, patience, persistence, and purpose. I got to have my patience to work with her through her bad spot. Now here, I'm just going to back her up into it. A lot of times, let's say I got a horse that doesn't like getting in the water, and if I got enough area what I can do, I'll back him up into the water. You'd be surprised how much easier that is. Managed me backing into it. She won't get so focused on whatever's in there. She's paying attention to me, and that's what I want. And about time for a new hat. You know, like I said, I'm sorry once again about the voiceover, but I can't help it. It is what it is. And you know, this good little training session we had. It was simple, keeping it simple. And keeping it her relaxed, and just like the key thing is having a nice relaxed ride. You know, that first real ride like this, if you can get just 10 minutes, that's fine. It doesn't have to be a whole hour. Matter of fact, the younger horse, better off to keep it short. And if I keep it short and sweet and no mishaps, we're both better off, because the next time I ride him, it's going to be better. I mean, just take one step at a time. Get control of the feet. And that's all that matters. And don't get in a hurry. So, you know, as I said earlier, always members of 3 P's: patience, persistence, and always, as I always say, be true to a horse and they'll be true to you.